And welcome to Sister Saturday. I am so excited for this show today. We didn't have a broadcast last week because I was doing some mentoring with a young girl group I work with, and I'll be going there after the show today. But I am extremely excited about this show. So this is Sister Saturday, and each week we feature guests from around the country and around the world. And many are wellness practitioners, business owners, motivational speakers, authors, coaches, and women of varied backgrounds, from finance to real estate and to holistic wellness that we have with us today. I call her Holistic Heather, and I'm so excited to have her with us today. So say hello to everybody, Heather.
Hi, everybody.
I'm excited. This is her first time doing anything like this, but she is a pro, and I know she's going to do a great job. So, the reason why I do these Sister to Sister Saturdays is I want to build a community of women that are passionate about their health, passionate about their life, passionate about the things that inspire them to go out in the world and do great things. And so, I have women that come over and to share their compelling stories that and their expertise to help us to live an exceptional life today. And so it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to share their stories and have them to come on to help us to be better. And so I am your host, Melisha Bailey, and I am on a mission to empower and inspire people to take care of their health, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Our health is the most valuable thing we have, and we must honor it and preserve it and do whatever we can to live the rest of our lives as the best of our lives. And that's a quote that I created, and I love it. Hello, Heather. Yes, Heather Mitchell is watching, and she says you are amazing. And yes, Heather Duff is amazing. Thank you for coming on today, Heather Mitchell. We're glad to have you. So let me just do this disclaimer so that there is no issues, but this broadcast is not intended to diagnose or offer treatment for any disease or illness. It's for educational and instructional purposes only. I am not a nutritionist or doctor, and the FDA has not evaluated the opinions shared. Please contact your physician before beginning any type of exercise or making changes to your diet. We talk a lot about diet. We may not today, but I have a lot of times we do talk about diet. So feel free to leave any questions or comments and we will try our best to answer them to the best of our ability. So I'm going to introduce my guest. I have known Heather Duff. She lives here in Springfield, Missouri. I have known her for a long time. I have used her for so many things, and I wanted her to come on because I talk a lot about healthy what we put in our body, but what we put on the outside of our body, as and she does the inside of the body too, but it's just as important as anything. So without further ado, I am going to ask Heather to say hello and just tell us a little bit about yourself, Heather.
Hello. Um, well, I am a mama of three, and I really enjoy growing vegetables and herbs and medicinal herbs and studying about them. And I consider myself a student always because I'm always learning and always taking on information. And I don't consider myself a professional at any, but I have a lot of different things that I do. I make body products and I make things that go in the body to help healing naturally, nutritionally. And some of the products that Melisha personally has enjoyed from me are kombucha and soap and body butter, some bath salts and different things that she enjoys. And I get a lot of feedback and inspiration from people that come to the farmers market. We have a commercial street farmers market. I vend at different events. We just recently did the Ozark Homesteading Expo, and I taught how to make the kombucha and drink it. I think that a lot of our skin health comes from the gut, and what we ingest, it radiates through us, and you've got to start at your core to be healthy. So that's some of it.
That's a
I do
lot.
hope. I hope to do a soap making class in the future, and if the weather permits, maybe go to the farmers market this Wednesday in Fair Grove. But my products can also be found at Spring Valley Health on Glenstone. They have a really beautiful shelf set up for me, so that's nice.
That's great, and that's so convenient for us here in Springfield as well too. I have used Heather's products for years. I use her. She created one that I kept bugging her about, Jasmine, and so she has this luxurious body butter that has jasmine in it, and then she makes jasmine bath salts and then soap, and so I just lather that stuff on. But I started with kombucha, which has been great, and that is for gut health. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But let's talk about why it's important, Heather, to let's talk about number one, our skin being our biggest organ, and why it's important of what we
Yeah.
put on our skin is just as important as what we put in our body.
Yeah, typically when you ask people that question, even name your biggest organ, they always say, well, the brain, or, depending on who you ask, they say other things. But the skin is definitely the biggest organ, and there's three layers to it. And it's generally our protection from what's coming from the outside, such as heat or pressure or that type of thing, water. But it absorbs also. And so 60% of what we put on our skin goes into our body. And so if you think about that, all the products you use each day, women average about 12 products a day, men average about 7 products a day, just for health and beauty, such as soap, lotion, shaving cream, that type of thing. And if you can read the label and you can't pronounce it, then I would probably be scared to put it on my body. So I like to use things like coconut oil, olive oil. My soaps and products are actually vegan and kosher, which is nice because, like, for certain people, they don't want to put even animal products on their body. And so if that's getting absorbed into my body, I want it to be chemical free. It's very important because chemicals can lead to sickness. And we were taught as kids that drugs are bad, but then they put drugs into the body products that are bad for us. And it does damage internally, whether we realize it now or in 10 years. And so it's just very, very important to keep it clean. I try to eat organically as much as possible. We grow a lot of our own food. I cook almost every meal. And you feel a lot differently, and you can be a lot healthier when you can do those things yourself or buy local from people who do make it. It's funny because at farmers markets, a lot of times I'll get the comment, well, I could make that, but then I just jokingly say, but will you? And so if you can buy your products from somebody who's reputable and making quality products, then everybody wins because you're also supporting local. So that's very
Absolutely.
cool.
We have Amy on today. Thank you, Amy Wood, for being on with us today. And she said, yes, so important. People don't realize this. And so Heather Mitchell says, my skin has aged so bad. I look dry and old. So what would you say for
Oh,
someone that says that they think their skin looks dry and old?
one key is to drink lots and lots of water.
Yes.
I think that's the most important thing. Part of my daily routine is, like, you will almost never see me without water in my hand. I always drink water throughout the day. Probably 9 out of 10 drinks are water for me. I think that people were in the habit of not consuming fats, thinking that, your cholesterol levels need to be so low. And that was a thought kind of in the 50s and 60s. And so people stopped consuming good oils like coconut oil and olive oil and that type of thing. And so that comes out through your skin, and it's very important. But the key is water, of course. Some of my daily habits are, I do love coffee, but I won't let myself have my coffee until I drink chlorophyll water
Mm.
in the morning. And then I also take a tablespoon of hemp oil because I've recently discovered that can help with ovarian cysts. So I was able to stop having the cyst pain and the cyst ruptures by ingesting the hemp oil daily. And I take my chlorophyll because we don't get enough greens in our diet usually. And so I will drink a glass full of chlorophyll, and then I go to my coffee as my treat. The hemp oil is a little yucky, but the chlorophyll water is pretty decent, and then the coffee's great. But then the rest of the day, I just typically drink water, water, water.
I normally
Because,
start.
people don't realize that.
I was gonna say normally I start my day with fresh lemon water, fresh lemon. So I squeeze my lemons and I put a little bit of olive oil in there and I drink that down. And then I take the peels from the lemons and I pour hot water on it. And then I may put a little bit of apple cider vinegar and some cayenne pepper. And then I drink that down before I drink my coffee in the morning. I try to coat my stomach, so I'm gonna do the chlorophyll because we don't get enough greens in our diet. I have a green juice, a green powder. It's all organic, and I will put that in water and drink that through the day. But water is key. So if you have dry skin, that water is so important. Yes, ma'am. But I like
how beautiful you are.
Huh?
Look how beautiful you are.
Oh, well, thank you, honey. Well, a lot of it has to do with you because because what we put on our skin. So let's talk about a little bit. Let me see what other question I have. So tell us, how are things absorbed in the body? How do things penetrate, and why is it can be so dangerous if we're putting a lot of chemicals in our body, like some of those harmful lotions and some of those chemically laced soaps and things?
Right. Well, an important factor, of course, we have pores, and the pores are what let things in and out of the body. If there's toxins in the body and they build up, they'll come out as cysts or boils or acne or different things. Even sweating is a good way to release the toxins. I love the summertime because I feel so much healthier because those toxins come out when I'm gardening and I'm just sweating, sweating, sweating. Coming into the body, about 60% of what comes into your body through your skin gets through and is stored in the fat. And so if you're storing natural things in your fat, it's so much better than if you're storing those chemicals because they don't leave you. And it ends up causing exertion on your liver, it taxes your kidneys, and so you may end up with other physical problems and you don't even understand why, because even if you're eating healthier, I mean, typically people that eat organic, it goes hand in hand that they're not going to put so many chemicals on their body, but some people, they just don't even think about it being a problem. Even the shampoo and stuff, so full of chemicals. And so something new I've been doing is, because the hair is actually an extension of your skin and the root is alive, but really hair is just ornamentation that is an extension of your skin. And so something new I've been doing is, several of my customers have told me that they use my soap as a shampoo bar. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this because I hadn't tried it. And I loved it when I tried it. And then another friend of mine was telling me, because I feel like in the fall, sometimes you notice hair loss more. Maybe it's not necessarily that you're losing more hair, but I seem to notice it more then. And so I would ferment the rice water. You ferment it for 14 hours. You just put rice and water in a jar, and then you pour that off after 14 hours. And at that point, you can refrigerate it if you're not ready to use it, or you can use it. And I rinsed my hair with the rice water, and I loved it. And so there's different things you can use in your shampoos. One of the shampoos I've made that have helped several people regrow hair has a base of a strong chamomile tea and rosemary tea. And so you take that strong tea brew and you put a little bit of Castile soap in there and you wash with that, and it's invigorating. And I'm telling you, the thickness of these women's hair, like, they were very, very happy with it.
You never offered me that product.
There's so much I have to offer. Well, and if you have problems and you want to do your own research, I think that this book is so essential. I'm going to hold it up and show it because everybody should own it if they want to do things that are more natural. Where am I?
You got it. Is
And
it called Prescription for Nutritional Healing?
that's correct. And that was the very first book that my dad gave me when I was a young girl and probably around the age of college, because he wanted me to be able to do my research and figure out how I can get better nutritionally versus, going through prescriptions. And because I'm telling you, the creator made something to cure anything on earth that you can get, And so there are reasons to go to the hospital, obviously, when you can't fix things. But if you can cure it naturally, I think that that's just the best way.
Well,
My opinion.
with me being a nutritional health coach, this is one of the reasons why I became a nutritional health coach, because I was sick. I was on a lot of medications. I didn't want to be on any of those medications anymore. I wanted to get well, and I wanted to get myself well with food. I believe food is medicine, and I believe in a holistic approach to wellness. And that's what I do as a health coach. And that's why I love being able to share what you do, because I believe that the holistic, clean approach is amazing. And when you were talking about the hair, I do something called the hair tissue mineral analysis, because our hair is an extension of our health. And so with the hair analysis, we can detect if there are mineral imbalances, if there's toxins in your body, because there may be toxins from some of the chemicals that you put on your body, the foods that you've eaten. And so, no, I don't talk a whole lot about the hair analysis, but it is true. And so when we do the hair analysis, we take about 6 weeks growth of hair, and it will tell us a big picture of what's going on in your body, so that we can help you to get healed naturally with food. And it will give us a big printout of what's in your body, if you're low on calcium and phosphorus and magnesium and copper, or if there's any arsenic and any cadmium and all kind of toxic things that are in your body. And so the hair analysis is great. So if anybody would like to know any more about that, I think it's awesome, because our hair is an extension. But and so what we put in our body is going to show up in our hair, and it's going to show up in other ways as well too. So that's amazing. And you're so full of knowledge. I have Corina says she uses hers shampoo. So you must use your soap as shampoo, Corina, I would imagine. So I have your soap. I've never used it as shampoo, but I would love to get some of that shampoo. I've used I started with Heather with the kombucha because of gut issues. Can we talk a little bit about kombucha? A little bit?
Definitely. Yeah, I hoped you would. I brought a SCOBY to show people. And what this little guy, it looks like a jellyfish. It's a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. And the liquid that it's in is the mother. And so to create a new bottle of kombucha, you would put the mother and the SCOBY into a new fresh batch of tea. And when you pour off the finished kombucha, leaving the SCOBY back, you can make a drink like this. This one is ginger and lemon. And
that's my favorite. I love it.
That's my personal favorite as well. And I can make those for people, and Melisha can hook you up to get a hold of me if you would like. But I do them by the half gallon, or I do them by bottles like that at farmer's market. And a lot of times I'll just come with a few different flavors, but it's totally customizable. As long as I know a week in advance, I can make them, because I have a colony of about 45 SCOBYs, jars of kombucha going in a fermenting cabinet, which brings up fermenting. I think that people used to be a lot healthier because food preservation was different. And so to get through the winter, they would have to store their food differently, because we didn't have the convenience of grocery stores. You would prepare for yourself. And one way to preserve the food and keep the health going was fermenting foods. Sauerkraut, pickles, like anything you can think of that's fermented and has probiotics is going to lead to benefits in your body. It's good for your gut, It's good for your skin. It's good for you all around. I had some pretty scary things happening with my digestive system years ago, and I don't know how to put this delicately. I didn't want to have parts of my intestines cut out, and so I wanted to go a different route and learn how to do it holistically. And I started repairing my system with kefir, and then I moved to kombucha. But the probiotics are essential for me. And something else that I do is digestive enzymes to help me. We've had to go gluten-free, but it's easy now because there's so much available to be able to do it that way.
It is.
We talked about typically 12. We talked about the typically the things that women use to get ready each day, or products that they use to get ready each day. And so if you think about like, what does it take for you to get ready in the morning? What do you use, Melisha?
Well, I use yours. I use your. Well, I was telling Heather because I work out and I get stinky, so I have to use a deodorant soap. And so we were talking yesterday about her making a deodorant soap for us stinky workout people. So a lot of times, what I use, unfortunately, I have to use. I use like Safeguard soap to get the stink off, and then I use your soap and then the bath salt. I've tried different deodorants and they don't help. So I think you said you have a deodorant. I'm going to try your deodorant so that I don't want to go around, I don't want to go around stinking. But anyway, and I love your body butter. I love the salts. And so really that's what I put on my skin. And I try on my face. I try to buy as clean of products as I can for my face and my skin. Um, and I juice every day almost. I love my carrot juice and my celery juice. So, that's what I do. I try not to put a lot of chemicals on my skin. I use your products. I buy them, I give them away, and I just think they're the best because as a health coach, I'm concerned about what I put inside of my body and now what I put on the outside of my body as well.
Right. I typically I start my day with my soap, and I use that, and I generally don't need moisture after that because
No.
it's got the coconut oil and the olive oil in it. And then the body butter, I'll show what that looks like. But if you could feel it and you could smell it, you would love it. Alicia says so too.
I mean, Heather, I'm serious. I bought some, I'm not going to say the brand, but I spent $40 on some body butter. And I thought it was the most luxurious body butter I ever used. But your body butter is far better and it lasts all day. It's luxurious. And everybody I give it to, they're like, oh my God, that's the best thing. Yes.
Well, it's interesting because the essential oils, whenever you apply that to your skin, with the essential oils, in about 2 minutes, you can smell it on the breath and detect it in the bloodstream. And so I'll put the body butter on after a shower, and I will still smell good when I'm hugging people in the evening or even the next day. They're like, you smell so good. And I don't really notice it, but other people do. So that's how I know it's good and working.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I really love it. So tell us, I call her my, what did I call you? I call her your developer because you're always developing. So let me just tell this story. I injured my foot. I teach classes at the YMCA. So I injured my foot a couple weeks ago and, so I was talking to Heather, and so I got some salve from you yesterday, and I mean, my foot feels so much better. So tell us some of the other things that you're developing or working on in your for your business.
Yeah, it's nice because I get a lot of customer feedback, and so then I'm able to create new products. I'm working on a shave cream because men and women both want a good, healthy, clean shave cream. But it's going to start off as a solid soap, and then you use the little brush and you whip it up. And then another one that I was really inspired to make is called a soap Scription. And my friend Jason's came up with this great idea. And he's like, why don't you offer a year soap Scription and people get 2 bars sent to them a month? And then on their birthday month, they get a third bar, and they can have it of their choice as long as they tell me in advance. So that's been really nice. I have several Soapscription members, and then it's coming to that time of year again where they can renew or new people can join. And one lady even took hers, and she only gets 3 months of the bars of soap, but she had address labels printed up so that I could ship to her friends. And she made these little insert cards, and she wrote happy birthday to this friend. And so when I just package them up and they get a little gift, and it worked out really nicely. And the ones, there's several in town, and I'll just porch drop those. And so I really love the Soapscription because then that allows me, I like being forced to get the work done. And so it kind of forces me to be on making the products, because soap takes 30 days to cure. So I have to be on it ahead of time. And it's funny because people that make soap always say we're working a season ahead. So we've already got our pumpkin soaps and our winter soaps and
That's
all
great.
those.
I
So
have
makes shape.
Elva says you are so beautiful and amazing, and
Aww,
I agree with that, Elva. She is beautiful and very
yeah.
amazing. I love the idea of the Soapscription. So can people customize it? See, somebody like me would like to have like the body butter, the bath salt, and the soap as a subscription box to come. Do you do something like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do gift boxes at all throughout the season. I do holiday gift boxes. For Father's Day, I had one called the Dad Bod box, which I think is hilarious. But I had several people want the Dad Bod box.
Wow.
And I want to shout back out to Elva. Hopefully someday I'll get to be her doula.
Oh, and well, we're going to talk about you being a doula in just a minute. So, well, that is great. So, you introduced me to oil pulling, and let's talk a little bit about that because that has been really great. My teeth are nice and white and they feel so clean. And tell us about how do you do it and what is the benefits of oil pulling?
The benefits are so good. My daughter and I actually did it this morning. She's so funny because she'll police herself, and if she has too many sweets, she wants to oil pull. So you take a spoonful of coconut oil. It's a little weird when it's solid, but if you leave it on your stove, it gets liquid. You put the teaspoon of oil in your mouth, and then you mix up a cupful, about 4 ounces of water with just a spoonful of baking soda, and you swish, and you just swish it around in your teeth and in your mouth. And for her, I set the timer for 5 minutes because she doesn't like to go longer than that. I can go 10 or 15, but the volume in your mouth will increase. So it's up to your discretion. 5 minutes is great though. There's an organ under your tongue called the lingual lip pace. And while you're oil pulling, it's actually pulling toxins out of your body, and those will pool in your mouth. So when you go to spit it out, you want to spit it into the toilet to flush it, not down your sink. And then I always rinse afterwards with the baking soda water, because what that does is it neutralizes the toxins in your mouth. And then I brush my teeth afterwards. But whenever I have older kids, the teenagers growing up, they would do that periodically, but always right before the dentist. And the dentist could never understand why their teeth were so clean. He didn't understand it. And it'll also help with bleeding gums. It can help that go away. And then if you are to get like a toothache, you can mix up a little bit of coconut oil and myrrh powder, or coconut oil with clove just for the pain. But with the myrrh powder, you can actually pull out an abscess. I've had friends who had an abscessed tooth, and they've used that, and they just put it on a Q-tip and they put it in their mouth before bed, because then you're more likely to let it sit and not remove it. And it's helped them get rid of that pain and heal that tooth. So it's
You guys
crazy.
see why I call her Holistic Heather? She's got so many holistic remedies and tips to help us to live a more healthier, holistic life without having to take medicines if possible. And so she's been a big blessing in my life. And I just love what she does. I love what she stands for. And so and she's just amazing. So the next venture that you've been really working on and you're ready to, she wants to be a midwife and doula, which is actually even amazing. I work with the Doula Foundation here in Springfield. I'm not a doula, but I've been doing some work with them, helping them to train their moms. And so for you to want to be a doula, I couldn't be a doula. I know I don't have that type of patience, but tell us a little bit about why you
Oh,
wanted to do that and what's that like?
I mean, it's amazing and it's a calling for sure. My friend Carol said that midwives aren't made, they're born. And I've always had a passion for natural birth. Since my first child, I just consumed every bit of information I could about natural birth. And of course, I read Ina May Gaskin and those books that she wrote. And in the 70s, she was doing natural births, and their cesarean section rate was like 1%, where the nation's was like 35. And I mean, back in the day, whenever my mom's generation was having children, it's insane how they treated women. And I mean, there's racial disparity even today in the hospitals, and it's not okay. And home births are good, and obviously, there's a time and place where a woman needs to be taken to the hospital if certain things aren't going well, but our bodies are made to do that, and I feel like a lot of women can get through it naturally and at home, and it's a good thing. I've gotten certified as a doula, so now my path is just working on the midwifery and get a few more births under my belt and help people. I'm really excited to help women because being able to be present and comforting during that time is like such a huge blessing.
It
So
is.
I'm just
It
really
is.
excited.
I watched my son's girlfriend have her baby, and I was wishing that she had a doula with her to help her through that. Let me see. I have Heather. Heather asked a question. Let me see. I don't want to hide it. She said that her husband has migraines. Okay. Can you advise on how my husband can get rid of his migraines? We tried peppermint oil with no luck. Can you help? Do you have something that may help with that?
My biggest suggestion would be to create a food journal and figure out what his triggers are. I have a headache oil that I'd be glad to give you a sample of and see if that helps you at all. But my husband's triggers turned out to be peanuts and MSG, and MSG is in so many things. And so he has to read the label or he gets a crippling migraine. And it can be hereditary. His mom suffers from them as well. So, and if you want to message me later, I'll do some research in my books.
I'm going to get that
So you
book.
can.
I am. I'm going to buy that book, especially with me being a nutritional health coach. And then because when I get the analysis, first of all, thank you for answering that question for Heather. I hope that helped Heather. I can't see who that is. It said, hello, ladies. Can you tell me? Let me see. Hello, ladies. I can't tell who that is. But I'm glad we've got quite a few people on today that are listening. So this is a great show. I'm excited. And if you watch this on replay, make sure you hit replay for us so we know that you watched it on replay. I hope that helped you, Heather. But I forgot what I was going to say about um, the hair analysis too can also help tell us what's going on in your body, and so maybe some food allergies and things like that as well too. But that wasn't what I was going to say. I forgot. I just lost it. But anyway, um, anything else you want to talk about today? Before this has been a great show. So much information. Is there something else that we need to discuss before we go, Heather? I know you had a list of things.
I think that well, I have so many lists. I want to make sure that people understand that sometimes in the body, if they have an allergy, there can be a liver connection. And
Mm,
because your liver is your filter, if you're suffering from certain allergies and stuff, you might want to check and make sure you have a good strong liver. or do liver cleanse, do some detoxing. If you know somebody reputable that you can get a Rife treatment for detoxing, if you know somebody reputable that you can get a biomeridian scan, those are some of the ways that I've been able to find things out about my body that blood tests that my normal doctor couldn't pick up. And so those are really, really essential. And then I just want people to listen to their bodies. If you're having an issue, your body is telling you that, and you need to trust your gut, trust your intuition, listen to your body, and think about that. One interesting fact about sugar cravings was to me to find out that that typically means you're deficient in magnesium. And so
Mhm.
if you're craving sugar a lot, I have a very low tolerance for sugar. I don't crave sweet much, and I think the kombucha helps that. But also, if I do start craving it, I start my magnesium supplement. But if you are craving it and you just can't stop yourself, almonds with dark chocolate is a good alternative to a Snickers bar or something, you know. Um, and yeah, just listen to your body and don't jump don't jump at what the Western medicine says right away before doing your own research, because
Absolutely.
a lot of times there are side effects that people have no idea because they just take that prescription and go on, and then they have repercussions later.
And you're so right. You're so right. And I think that's why I love what I do, is because I want to guide people to not put the prescription medication in their bodies if they don't have to. Yes, we need doctors. If you have a heart attack or a stroke or you break a leg, we need them. But my goal is to use nutrition and food
Mhm.
to help heal whatever is the problem in our bodies. And I believe that with my whole heart because I've experienced it in my own life. And yeah, I'm going to get that book because I think it's going to help me as a health coach to be able to combine what I know about nutrition. I'm not a nutrition or dietitian, but I do know, foods, and and then to be able to combine that with as we're doing more hair analysis and really be able to really get down, because the hair analysis may tell us different foods that you may need to eat, but then I can go back to our nutritional book and really find out why it's suggesting these foods. And so that book will be in my cart today. So if I can find it, I hope it's on Amazon. But yes, if you could take a more, I just wanted to compel people to think about your body, think about your health, think about your kids or your grandkids, and what you're how we live today is how we will live in the future. And what we do now affects everything. But we can't go back to the past, but we can reverse some things that are going on, and we can make changes each and every day to be better. Putting good things in our body, changing our gut health, putting the good things on top of our body, on our skin, on our hair, so that we can be the healthiest people out there. And so with holistic wellness people like you, that have a passion, it's important that we connect and be able to help the world be better and holistically, healthily, nutritionally, and and you grow your foods and you grow your herbs. And I know what I was going to say. You've asked me to grow stuff. I don't have time to grow stuff, but I will happily buy them from you. So that's the beginning.
Well, I have a couple gardens, so that works out.
Yes, yes, yes. And so if you live in Springfield, Missouri, and you're not a gardener, reach out to Heather because she's got all kind of herbs. And so what are you growing now for the winter right now, Heather?
I've got some cabbage and potatoes out there now. It's pretty much the end of the season, so now I'm focused more on harvesting. I'm harvesting my herbs. I grow a lot of medicinals, just because we've had a call to use them. And so then over winter, I work more on things like tinctures, and I do canning because, in these times we have anxiety, and that's a way for me to prepare and not feel anxious. And so toothache plant, yarrow, sage, lavender, rosemary, all the different herbs. there's so many beautiful plants out there that have so many great uses, and then there's also a plethora of things that I know about for people. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask questions, because I love to share information. I love for you to go the natural route. And so I didn't know until last year that if you get poisoned or even food poisoning, who hasn't had that, you can take charcoal and the poison will connect to that charcoal and exit the body. There's just so much. Turmeric for inflammation. I have inflammation in my body, and it's just wonderful how many options there are instead of reaching for, the anti-inflammatory drugs to go the natural route. The cayenne, the
Yeah.
apple cider, it's all good.
It's all good. That's why I'm so glad I got with you about my foot, because the doctor prescribed prednisone and I didn't want to take a steroid, and I knew I didn't want to take the anti-inflammatory drugs. And so being able to use a more natural is so much better for my foot, is more better for my body. And we need more
Yeah.
people like you. And so I know that you are wanting to do the midwifery, but I may have you write some blogs for me or do something, because I just want to promote you and all that you do. And you're like, Melisha, I got enough to do. I'm homeschooling kids, and I'm birthing babies, and I'm making soap and kombucha. But I just want to use you as much as I can, and I want to promote you as much as I can. I told Heather I wish I had money to invest in her factory to make her soaps and her body butter and things like that. So if I was a millionaire, I'd be your biggest investor, because I believe in what you do, and I'm so happy that you are a part of my life, and I'm so happy that you did the show today with us. And I'm going to put your email in the show notes, so that if anybody wants to reach you, they can email you, or they can friend you on Facebook. And I reach out to her. She has a world of information. And if any of the people that she knows, if you want some more additional help with me, I would love to be able to talk to you about any of your health and wellness issues. And also, you were talking about blood, and so that's why I like the hair analysis, because it gives you a different analysis than just a urinalysis or a blood, or taking your blood. It gives you those are all good, but it just gives you a different picture, a bigger picture. So,
Malika,
but
I'm
yeah,
gonna put you on the spot now. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You think us and the other girls will do another women's retreat?
yes, we will. We had a great time. Now, they were laughing at me, everybody, because I'm a city girl. I had never been out. I had never been camping ever. And we're sitting out there, and I'm hearing this noise, and they said it was coyotes. And I'm like, what? But no, I am ready for the next women's retreat. We can start planning it now and get a bunch of women. We were out at the yurts. We had amazing food. We had an amazing time. And just being out in nature, it really did something different for me than I have ever experienced in my life. Sitting out there with the campfire and looking at the stars, it was amazing. And you get to do that all the time, because you go to the yurts all the time. So I'm so jealous. So.
It's a good thing to be out there in nature. I love it.
Well, let's plan it. Who was with us? I forgot the girls that was with us. Was it
Yeah. Tiffany Fry does breath work. Crystal Geyer did the Zumba, land Zumba. We're used to Aqua Zumba. We had Becca Griffin doing some beautiful wire wrapping. Her and her husband made my necklace.
yes?
Who else do we have? Yeah, we had Sarah Barnes. She did laughter.
Oh, what was her name?
I'm sorry,
Sarah.
Sarah Barnes.
Gotcha.
She did laughter yoga, and it sounds silly, and it is, and it's wonderful to laugh, and I love that class. And then, of course, you and your nutritional speech. And then we learned a fun game, too. Do you remember the name of the game?
With the cards?
Yep.
I forgot the name, but it was fun.
It's good. And then Amanda Francis owns the Forest Garden Yurts, is where we got to do that. Was there anybody else there? I think that was it. We had Shay Belkey Ramey scheduled to do massage, but she came and participated. So yeah, it was really good.
It was good. So yes, let's plan it for next year. I'm excited. I would love to do it, and maybe we'll get a lot more participation this year. But yes, the women's retreat, it was really nice. So I was thank you for putting that together. It was beautiful. Thank you for doing this show. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my holistic Heather. And I love you more than you will ever know. And Becca said yes, another retreat. Becca Gribben. Was Becca there?
Yeah,
Becca there? Okay.
yeah. She did wire wrapping.
Oh, the
Yeah, with the
wire wrapping.
crystals.
Oh, I still have mine. I don't have it on, but I
Mhm.
still have mine. Yes, Becca. Yes, so we're going to do another retreat next year at the Yurts, which would be really great. So,
Good.
anybody have any other questions for me or Heather before we leave? We had a great show today, and I wanted to tell you that I've got Crystal Geyer. She's working with me and with Love for Life Wellness, and she's our fitness coach now. So I'm able to
Good.
offer hair analysis, and I have a nurse, Alicia Ivy, who works with me, and then I've got Crystal, who will be doing personal training with our clients as well. So and I would love to be able to offer some of your stuff as well too. So we're building a community and trying to
Yeah,
help people get well holistically.
love that.
So anyway, we're going to go. If anybody else, but it's been a great show. Thank you, Becca, Amy, Heather, Amby, and anybody else that was on I missed. I really appreciate you being on today. And if you want some more information, I will, like I said, I will put Heather's email address in the notes and reach out to her. But I think we're going to do this again because you did such an amazing job. I would like to just talk about some of the herbs and things like that. How about that? And then next year for
Great.
2022, do a show about just different herbs and stuff that you're growing. That'd be awesome.
I would love it. That sounds good.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope everyone has a blessed and wonderful weekend. We will not have the Sister to Sister Saturday next week because I am going to Costa Rica and I'm so excited. So I will be gone for 2 weekends, but I may like come in and do a live if I have some good internet in Costa Rica. But and I may see if my nurse coach Alicia might can pitch hit for me, or I may schedule some repeats to come in. But I appreciate everyone that listens and tunes in. You're my heart's desire, and I love it so much. Thank you, Melissa Chandler is watching. Thank you, Melissa, for being on today. And anybody else, if you watch this on replay, just hit hashtag replay. Let me know it's a replay. We thank you. Any parting words before
Thank
we go,
you.
Heather?
I know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.